welcome to LibertyNation.com's content videos, which we call LNTV. Now, we try to be brief, but our goal is to shed more light than heat. I'm Lisa K. Donner, Editor-in-Chief of LibertyNation.com, and joining me today is Sarah Cowgill, our national correspondent, and our topic is the battle royale between New Mexico's governor and the county sheriffs in that state. Are you ready to rumble, Sarah?
I'm always ready to rumble when it comes to New Mexico.
All right, so it appears like the land of enchantment has sort of turned into the land of disenchantment. A growing number of New Mexicans have organized to fight back against the newly elected progressive governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham. And she appears to be heading the state towards socialism, one legislative act at a time. Can you bring us up to date on what's happened with her summit?
Well, in the aftermath of the El Paso and the Dayton mass shootings, she knee-jerk reacted, quickly decided to host a domestic terrorism summit because, you know, New Mexico is pretty close to El Paso, and so she was playing off of that, and invited everyone in the state, lots of legislators, the FBI. She invited Homeland Security and didn't invite the elected county sheriffs. Not a single solitary sheriff was invited to the domestic terrorism summit.
Why?
I don't think she likes them. I mean, honestly, they don't play well in the sandbox together. She has rubber stamped a series of Second Amendment laws into law, legislation into law, and they've all signed letters saying they won't support it. 30 out of 33 sheriffs have declared their counties Second Amendment sanctuary counties. They won't enforce her laws. She's not very pleased with the elected county officials.
All right, so then something called, you write, the New Mexico Patriots Advocacy Coalition stepped in. Who are these people, and what are they're basically holding Grisham's feet to the fire?
Yeah, shortly after she took office, which was just this past January 2019, everybody finally woke up from their apathetic state of mind and went, holy moly, who did we elect? And these people are mostly New Mexico. There's 2 big cities in New Mexico, and they're not even big cities compared to the rest of the world, or the country for that matter. And those people elected her. All of the rural people are like, what in the heck did we just allow to happen? So they organized, they started out loosely grouped on Facebook, and they grew and they grew and they grew, and they became a legitimate organization. They are registered with the state, they have hired attorneys, they're suing the state government for a laundry list of due process problems in allowing the citizens to try to vote on referendum. They're not, the Democratic supermajority is not allowing them their petition status. So they're suing for that. And they're mad. They're fired up.
Yeah, they sound pretty fired up. So in essence, they marshaled their forces on social media, and what happened?
Well, when this domestic terrorism summit came up, and it went like wildfire that not a single county sheriff was invited. That includes San Juan County Sheriff Shane Ferrari, who was the sheriff in charge when the school shooting in Aztec happened in 2017. It also included Jerry Hogreffi from Taos County, who oversaw the Islamic terrorist camp. Without Hogreffi, the FBI would have continued to sit on their hands. At least that's what I believe, and I think the people of New Mexico believe the same thing. He acted and shut the place down. These are the 2 people who have been on the front lines. They were snubbed, and nobody was happy about that in New Mexico.
All right, then some of them crashed the party. How'd that work?
The Sheriff's Association, the New Mexico Sheriff's Association, basically said, we don't care if we're not invited, and will Mr. Ferrari and Mr. Hogreffi crash the party. And they did. They just showed up. They didn't ask for an invitation. They didn't wait to be vetted. They walked through the front door, they sat down, and they played there the whole time.
Well, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I mean, if there's this much opposition to the governor, why did they elect her in the first place? What is the political backdrop of New Mexico?
It's mostly blue. It's a heavily poor state. A lot of government programs fuel the fire, fuel the election process. I think the apathetic nature of people just going, well, it's always been this way and we can't do anything about it, until they started to take away their guns and they started to take away their way of life with the oil and gas industry. And those apathetic people that went, oh, we've survived other Democratic governors, are no longer apathetic, and they are armed and ready to go.
Do you think because they have such a progressive governor there that maybe Trump has a chance in New Mexico this time? In other words, do you think New Mexico might be leaning purple to possibly red?
Oh, yeah. If there's any indication of what's going on in New Mexico, constant hammering against the left, against Grisham, against the supermajority in that state, then I think Trump has a heck of a chance in New Mexico.
Thank you very much, national correspondent Sarah Cowgill, who writes a fabulous column every week called From the Back 40, where she takes the pulse of America's heartland, which nobody else seems to be doing these days. Thanks for joining us, Sarah.
Thank you, Lisa. Always a pleasure.
And remember to like, subscribe, check out our podcast, and just hit libertynation.com. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Have a great day.